Hello, everybody. Today I've got Jack Napier here to talk about his new book on women. One of the things that's been really awesome is that Jack had made it a goal of his to be a published author before the age of 35. And I heard a story of his that he managed to get it done. So congrats, Jack. Welcome to the
Thank you.
show.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I did it right at the finish. Like literally right at the finish. It was like 11 p.m. at night, something like that, 11:30 p.m. And then boom, the Kindle was published and I woke up and the paperback was published as well. So yeah, I made it. And
Man, so that's the best narrative, right? Is the hero goes ahead and makes his way through the final dungeon right at the last minute. So you've done it. Well done, Jack.
feels great. It's like, I mean, you're right. It kind of was like beating the game kind of thing where it's like, okay, we did it. And I'm kind of that person where it's like, okay, I made this goal. Now what?
Sure. So
Like
what is
now,
next? We can talk about that when we go ahead and close up. But something I'm really interested in is can you go ahead and give us a broad overview of kind of the thesis of the book?
so a broad overview of the book is a multitude of my experiences, the lessons I learned from them, and how the reader could apply them. It is not a memoir or whatever. It's not a woe is me. It is literally like, okay, what do we know about women? Like, okay, hypergamous, they don't care about your feelings, um, rather be saddled or rather share an alpha than be saddled with a faithful beta, things like that. Now, where have I experienced these maxims where the red pill always talks about? Like, how did I figure out that this was actually true? And then I go through these stories and then I deconstruct these stories where it's like, yeah, this behavior of XYZ is what caused it. This was her reaction. And that's why we say, hypergamy doesn't care about XYZ. Or this is why we say women are the most responsible teenager in the household, or whatever maxim you can think of. It is somewhere in there with a experience I've had and then deconstructing it in a manner that somebody else can apply it in their life. Because that is also what I kept in mind when writing this book. The red pill is not apex fallacies. There's a little annoyance I've been having with the space, or had with the space for a couple of years, where we were only dealing in apex fallacies. Like the guy in Vegas, the guy in Miami, the guy in Dubai, he's the only one who gets the girl. So it's like, no, he doesn't. I've been getting girls left, right, and center, and I'm not in Dubai. I'm in bumfuck Netherlands. And I literally, I was like in the northeast of the Netherlands. So, like, that's not high class, famous rock star influencer city. That's just normal town somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And I had friends who were from there, and I like friends from the States who live in where does Rob live again? Like, Salt Lake City. That's it. Salt Lake
Sure.
City, things like that. Like, they're not like influencer hubs or whatever. So I wanted to show with the book, like, no, man, this whole red pill stuff, the praxeology is also for your average day truck driver, plumber, gym clerk, store owner, whatever. It applies to women universally. And
Oh
that's what
yeah,
I did with the book.
absolutely. And it's very well written. Your editor did a great job with what you provided as source material. And I think that it is very useful for several stages of guys. It's useful for young guys, your intended audience. And I think it's useful for older guys that are just getting back into the game as well. Like you can go ahead and adapt the concepts all up and down the ladder in the hierarchy.
Yeah, that was kind of the intent where I don't per se have Zoomers or Generation A that's coming up, if I'm saying it correct, in mind as an audience. But because of that, the older generations can apply it as well. Even Rob mentioned it. And for people who don't know, I have a podcast called Red Evening, and I've been doing that for almost 7 years now with the same man called Rob. And he was reading it, and he kind of came in where it's like, yeah, I already know this, but I'll just check how you wrote it. And even he was like, there's things in there that I didn't even know, or maybe I knew, but never viewed from that perspective. So hearing that just told me like, okay, I did it. I did a good job. where it's like,
Yeah, and
yes,
that's part of the
somebody.
value, right? Is you bring a unique voice to it, because we can go ahead and read Rollo's writings and get a lot of the baseline fundamentals of the praxeology, but the fact that you have a unique perspective to deliver to that is valuable in and of itself.
Yeah, no, that is kind of, not gonna lie, as an author, especially in this space, that is kind of scary. Where it's like, yeah, we got Rollo, we got Ryan. It's like two of the best writers we have, the best writers we have. Let's be honest here. Can I write something that actually adds to anything? And I did, and I
You
pulled it off.
did.
And I mean, yes, I am very happy with my editor, because like Dutch grammar and English grammar, though I am fluent in English, the grammar does mess up every now and then. And he knew exactly what he was doing. But he also, what I loved about my editor is that he knew me, where he could read a sentence that maybe was a little bit off grammar wise, and he would fix it into proper English grammar, and it's still me. You wouldn't even know it was wrong or whatever in the beginning. It was still me. Like, he gave me Substack posts every now and then, and I was like, "Did you even edit this?" He's like, "Compare it to your own." I'm like, wow. And it's like real small things that I didn't even catch at first, but made it so much better.
Well, that's the power of a good editor, right? Is that they can go ahead and take your source material, maintain your voice, and deliver it to you with polish.
Yes, and that's exactly what I did. What he did. Sorry. Exactly what he
Well,
did.
sure. I mean, it's a collaborative effort, right?
Well, yes, that is true. That is true. I remember when the first reviews came out, I kept sending them to him like, "Yeah, we did it." He's like, "You wrote the damn thing." I'm like, "Yeah, but I couldn't have published this without you. Let's be honest here." And same as Ryan with the cover, like, he really helped me out with that. And publishing the damn thing, now that you mention it, right before my 35th, it was a drag to get this thing published, because I don't know if you know that story, but I had uploaded it to Amazon. And Amazon was like, "Well, you need to verify yourself first, young man. Who are you?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Here's my ID." And they were like, "ID denied. Try again." I'm like,
Because you're a Dutchman.
well, probably. That was probably it. But I told them, like, or you can choose your nationality, like,
Oh,
"Oh, you're
okay.
Dutch, okay." So I did that. And like, "Do you have your ID card or passport or driver's license?" And I tried all three, and all three got rejected. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I try again with all three, and then it's like, "Yeah, you tried too many times. You're blocked." Like, what do you mean you're
Oh,
blocked? So I send them an email like, "Hey, this is my name. I can prove it, blah, blah, blah. You can call me." And they even did call me. Like, "Yeah, I am this person. I just want to publish my book." And
their
they
automated systems just couldn't handle what you were providing to them.
the girl I had on the phone, I remember she opened up my account again. She's like, "Okay, try again." I'm like, "Okay, sure." Tried again, got blocked again. I'm
Hmm.
like, "You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me." And this was like 2 weeks beforehand or whatever. And so I reach out, and the guy in the email says, "Yeah, no, we're not gonna allow you to publish. We're not gonna give you your account back. Done." Like, "No, it's not gonna
Wow.
happen." I'm like, "What do you mean, no? Like, I am this person. Like, here are the documents, everything." And very short answer back, "No." So I had given up. And I started looking at other published sites, but I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not gonna
Sure.
work."
Amazon's the big stage. You want to be on the big stage.
Bingo. And then all of a sudden, like July 28th, maybe 27th, all of a sudden I get an email. "Yeah, we made a mistake. Here's your account back. Try again." It's like, "You've got to be kidding me." Uploaded everything.
Wow.
Everything got approved. Boom. Go, go, go. It's like upload, upload, upload. Give Ryan the necessary measurements, got the cover, uploaded it, done,
Nice.
done. And the first copy that I have here, actually, I think your copy is a little bit better, but mine doesn't have a table of contents.
Oh, man. The table of contents is super useful because there are so many valuable chapters that you got to go ahead and find a way to get back to it easily.
Yeah. No, this is the one without. This is the
Oh,
one without. Because at that point, I was like, screw it. Publish the damn thing.
sure.
And it happened. And then later on, I went back and like, okay, add a table of content. So if you have the version without the table of content, you have a first edition. Grade that with PSA.
Well, there you go. So speaking of the book, I've got a
Mhm.
couple of questions to ask you about it. So I gave you a list of the chapters that I'd like to go through because I think that's just the more valuable pieces for my audience.
Mhm.
And the idea is in this chapter, women want you to be social. Why is that the case?
Because they are completely and utterly bored. Also, they want a guy who knows how to tango, so to say.
Sure.
They go to places a lot of the times alone as well, um, to get to engage with people. Right here in Batumi, Georgia, where I am now, we have the game nights, everything, and these girls are just hungry for some interaction. And I remember when going out, and this is not just here, by the way. So here I easily talk with them, things like that. And most of the expats are kind of socially savvy. Not all of them. You still see the guy in the corner with the beer in front of him.
Mm.
But I saw that back when I went out a lot too, where guys were just standing there. And I'm like, there's girls everywhere. Why aren't you opening them? Like, yeah, you might fail, but at least say hello. Make a quick conversation. Whatever. You don't have to get the number. You don't have to kiss close. You don't have to take her home at all. But at least engage with her so that when you do find that girl you're actually interested in, you know what you're doing.
Sure. And I mean, us men are rational problem solvers, like by nature. And so when guys get out here and have no idea what to do, I think one of the things that you provide in the book that's incredible in this chapter is you provide the how behind the why. You go ahead and provide this excellent framework of how to get started. And then you go through what are the steps and processes and procedures for somebody that has no clue how to be social, how to be charismatic, how to go ahead and dial in. Could you go ahead and spend a couple of minutes going through the framework that you introduce in the book?
Well, I've always said that if you can't open the old guy at the cash register, don't even try with the hot girl. That's like the number one rule I have where it's like if you can't open your everyday like, citizen whatever wherever you go, then don't even try with the woman you're into. And Rob and I had a conversation once about people who dislike small talk. And as soon as I hear somebody say, "Oh, I hate small talk," I know I don't want to engage with them because how do we start our social interactions? With boring, mundane small talk. Like, hey man, where are you from? Oh, there and there. Oh, really? Like yesterday, I met a guy who was from Germany. Immediately we hit it off, of course. But I'm like, yeah, where in Germany are you from? He's like, we're doing the boring small talk, aren't we? Like, yeah, man, that's exactly what we're doing. I don't know anything about you. It's like, oh, I'm from Leipzig and blah blah blah. Like, oh yeah, Leipzig. That's a little bit more southeast kind of thing. He's like, yeah, I'm more in the middle. And that's that whole conversation just went then from there because I know a little bit about Leipzig. That's what I call a hook in a conversation when you start out talking to somebody. Look for things they tell you that you can hook into. I've used the example as well of girls using a band shirt or wearing a band shirt. It's like, hey, I love your shirt. I love that album. Now, unfortunately, these days H&M and Zara and whatever sell band shirts, so it's kind of full. It's kind of falling flat on that one. But maybe you're lucky and the girl wearing the Green Day t-shirt actually knows American Idiot. It's like, yeah, man, I love Jesus of Suburbia or what's her name? Things like that. And what was the other? Yeah, Jesus of Suburbia was the long one. I'm thinking about the track list of that album. It was actually a pretty good album. I don't know.
Oh,
You into music?
not as much nowadays as I was well in the past. I just don't have as much time to dig in nowadays.
I know the feeling. I used to be a drummer, and God, it's itching. Where it's like, oh God, I would love to do that again. But um, that's a good example. Like, what if you would have said, like, yeah, man, I'm into music. I would have gone like, oh, do you play an instrument? And then I would have just dragged it out of you because I'm
Sure.
genuinely interested in music, but I'm also genuinely interested in your artistic endeavors. Like the whole conversation we had before we went live, which we won't get into now because we're going to derail the whole thing. But
Right.
that is just basic, to me at least, basic social understandings because you want to get to know her. Like, yes, you want to sleep with her, things like that. But what's preventing a lot of guys from actually getting there is showing that genuine interest of who are you and getting them to talk. Because if there's one thing people love to talk about, it's themselves. And Roosh always said, "Oh, you need to ramble." And that is one of the few things I disagree with Roosh, because Roosh said, "You need to ramble." I'm like, no, you need to get her to ramble. That's what you want. Because the more invested she is, the more she's going to talk to you. And that's where those hooks
Absolutely.
come in and that genuine interest.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And it's just one of those things where a lot of people give small talk a bad rap, but I view it nowadays as social lubricant more than
It is.
anything else. It's just getting used to speaking with anybody is not a frictionless thing. And so small talk helps to alleviate that friction.
Bingo. Yeah, 100% agree.
So another topic that was really important in the book that I felt was the idea that women will tell you. There's the why and the how. Can you go ahead and tell me a little bit about why is it that women signal instead of speaking and demonstrating directly?
So here's an example that I'm actually experiencing right now. So I met this woman in the gym, and she kept looking at me and engaging with me, and I got her number, things like that. But she turned out to be married.
Hmm.
Now, I'm like, okay, you're married, but you still gave me your number. You still like take every opportunity you have to talk to me. That is clearly an indication of interest right there. However, in the book, I name a couple of examples where she's not into you anymore. A lot of guys bring up like mixed signals and what should I do, where it's like, you don't need to do anything because she has already made the decision for you. If a woman leaves you on red, that is the message. If a woman takes 3 to 4 or 5 hours to respond when she hasn't given any reason to do so, she is giving you an answer, kind of thing. One moment.
Oh, you're
Oh,
good.
sorry.
So basically, the medium is the message is one of those things that you're getting
It
at.
really is the medium is the message, and I remember getting to that topic from a girl I saw in the gym. She was on the leg press or something, and during her set, she was, like, vigorously fingering her phone, like, I'm like, "And you mean to tell me that this girl was too busy texting me back?" Utter bullshit. Like, if this girl can, in between her sets of a pretty heavy leg press, I remember, find the time to text whomever she's texting, probably a guy by the way she was texting, I'm not gonna buy any excuse from a girl ever again. And that's kinda how I, judge where my relationship's at, and maybe you've experienced this as well. When a girl is hot and heavy into you and, like, you have a distance between you, you have your own space of living, she texts you every morning. You don't need to send a good morning text because she's already beat you to it.
Mhm. Yeah, she's taking the time to establish connection.
Bingo. This whole thing where I see women like, "Why don't you send me a good morning text?" I'm like, "Nah, this is not about a good morning text. This is about control because if you were into me enough, you would have already done it." Kind of
Sure,
thing.
it reminds me of the internet meme where women will often say, "If he wanted to, he would." But this is the
W
reverse. If she wanted to, she would.
Everything a woman says, just flip the genders and you'll get the truth.
Mhm,
And that was either Archwinger or Nuke who said that, but it applies. So it's like, "Oh, if he wanted to, he would." It's like, that's not how that works. That's how women work.
mhm.
Not per se how men work. Now, a lot of pussy whip guys work like that, where they keep chasing her, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Why is she giving me attention?" Because you're giving yours up for free. That's
Mhm.
why. Why
There's no
don't you try?
chase.
Yeah. Like, why don't you retract a little? Yeah, but what if I lose her? Well, what if you do?
Mhm.
Then you're free to chase somebody else or to let somebody else chase you. But then you get into that whole scarcity mindset, which is easier said than done. Where it's like, if you're
Sure.
really infatuated with a woman and you know what to do, it is like one of the hardest things to do. And we'll get into that because I remember the chapter you wanted to discuss.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting because for a lot of guys, they haven't cultivated optionality. So that's what has that scarcity mindset just trapping them into just bad thought patterns a lot of times is they are not assured that they can find a suitable replacement. Whereas if you're a consolidated guy, like at this point, I know that tomorrow I could go ahead and find a replacement. It may
Well,
not be a one for one replacement, but the thing is, I'd be happy to go ahead and just get started.
well, that too. And do you even want a replacement?
Sure.
Maybe
And
you
that's a
just want to
different
be
thing for a
alone
different
for a while.
person.
Yeah, maybe you want to be alone for a while. Just explore being alone. I mean, I'm dating semi-exclusively.
Sure.
I mean, she calls me her boyfriend. It's like, okay, sure, sure, kind of thing. And but if she were to leave, I'm not like jumping at the gate to jump into the dating pool like head first. I'm like, finally, all my evenings are empty. I mean, now she's gone for a couple of weeks because she needed to do some things in the homeland. And I'm like, I've got my Wednesday evening for myself. I've got my Thursday evening. I got my Friday evening. It's like, wow, this is actually pretty chill.
Mhm.
It's like, this is also something guys need to understand where it's like, it's not the worst thing in the world being alone. Every breakup I ever had threw me into a new endeavor.
Sure. Because you got time on your hands.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, why do you even want a replacement if you even want one? I mean, you could pull the old monkey branching trick, which as a guy, it feels weird knowing you could do it. Like we know this of women, the monkey branching. And for people who don't know what monkey branching is that women do not break up with a guy unless they have a new guy lined up. But you as a guy breaking up with a girl until you have a girl to replace her is it's not a bad place to be in, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. We don't
Sure.
really need it.
And it's not common for us because we can
Oh,
date non exclusively if we've got ourselves set up properly to do that.
mhm.
And it's just a
And
matter of different people come to a relationship with different baggage of what their rules and expectations are that they put onto it.
yeah, no, and that's why I'm like a little bit like hesitant with my situation right now because I never brought it up. She brought it up, like, "Are we serious?" and things like that. And I'm like,
Because she wants to claim you, of course.
I know. And I'm like, I don't really want to be claimed, but I also have nothing to complain about. Which is like like I mentioned that woman at the gym, things like that, where it's like I keep my options open to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, I'll
Sure.
give you the opportunity to prove you're better than what I have. And 9 times out of 10 lately, it's like, yeah, no, it's not. It's like, yeah. Like the girl I'm dating right now is pretty awesome. Where it's like, yeah, no, I don't have a lot to complain about other than the usual woman thing where it's like, oh, well,
You're
do
not going
you
to get
love
around
me?
that, man.
Oh no, you don't. No, yeah, you can't. You can, and that's why you hate them just a bit. Where it's like,
Sure.
well, this is part of the course. But I mean, I learned that through the years as well, where it's like, don't argue with them. Just don't listen to them. You acknowledge what they're saying, but you don't agree with them. Unfortunately, she kind of figured that out where it's like, let me guess, you can figure why I say that. I'm like, fuck. That's
Well,
exactly what I
sure.
wanted to say.
That's fine. But like, it doesn't stop it from being the truth or your true reaction to it.
Yeah, exactly. You can see why I say that, can't you? It's like, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much my response. I can see why you say that.
And the thing is, if you're willing to own that, then
Oh,
you
yeah.
maintain your frame. And there it is.
Mhm. Yeah, and sometimes you just need to joke about that. It's like, "Oh, no, you've discovered all my tricks. Whatever must I do now? Oh, well, I'll just leave." "No, I don't
Sure.
want you to leave." It's like,
There's
see?"
all kinds of charming tricks and turns of phrases that you can go ahead and take her disagreement with you and then just agree and amplify it and make it
Oh,
something
yeah.
wild. And then she'll start laughing and she'll forget about what the argument was in the first place.
Oh, yeah, but that's the trick, and that was also one of the things that, I kinda I think I dislike that about the internet in general, of
Okay.
the argumentative nature it has, and especially between men and women, where, "Oh, let's discuss politics today with a 20-year-old girl." It's like,
Why would you do
of
that? Yeah.
course she's gonna be an idiot. I'll try not to swear, but
No, you're
of
good.
course she's gonna say, like, stupid things. She's 20, and it's about politics, and it's a woman. I was like,
Mhm.
what do you expect? there's this. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't introduce politics into this.
I know. That was my own fault. That was my own fault. That was my own fault. But you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, let's
Yeah, I get it,
discuss
man.
quantum physics with somebody who never studied it. Where it's like, yeah, of course that's not going to go well. And then the person who has studied quantum physics is going to be like, oh, are you stupid or something? Don't you know this? Where it's like, no, I don't know this.
Sure, because people don't have grace online like we would have face to face, right?
Mhm.
There is no baseline level of respect that is given a lot of times on the internet in public discourse.
Unfortunately, that is true because emotions sell views and clicks. And
Sure.
that's the game you got to play every now and then. So I might throw a chair at you at the like 25-minute mark or something to 35 to
Yeah,
get the
that's fine.
engagement.
I can go ahead and figure it out.
Yeah, to get the engagement up. No, don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah, so we went ahead and talked a little bit about how women will tell you, and they're going to go ahead and use the medium as the message primarily. So, how
Mhm.
do you spot genuine interest and closely related to that, genuine desire? Because it's just based on different stages of a relationship.
So genuine interest, and a good example would be one of my Zoomer friends who was eyeing this girl for ages, and this girl liked him too. She kept contacting him, like via text, via Snapchat, or whatever, and he kept telling me about her. I'm like, okay, did you ask her out? He's like, should I do that? I'm like, yes. She keeps texting you. She is hoping you initiate. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, I'll try that. Another day later, he's like, oh, Jack, you were right. I asked her out and she said yes. I'm like, no way. However could I tell? But then he's like, oh, I don't know how to escalate. I'm like, well, small thing. Does she bump into you when you two walk next to each other? He's like, strangely often. I'm like, there you have it. She is like putting herself physically in your orbit for you to make a move. Put your arm around her or whatever. Hold her hand. Do something. Like she's telling you physically, I want to touch you. He's like, oh, really? Is that it? Yes. And then 3 weeks later, I ask him, like, oh, hey, are you two still dating? No, we decided to be friends. And I immediately knew how that conversation went.
Sure.
I just knew how that went. He didn't make a move. She thought he was gay. And she was like, I have better things to do with a guy who can actually initiate. That's how women will tell you. They put themselves in your orbit, kind of thing. They stand next to you. They keep staring at you. They keep bumping into you. They also keep striking up the conversation, which sometimes makes it a little bit awkward when a girl is trying to do this, where the conversation has ended and you're like, well, okay, blah, 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 blah. And you end the sentence. And like, like this is the end of the conversation. And then she just stands there and you're like, so are you free next week? Yes. It's like, yeah, of course.
Well, she's presenting herself
Exactly.
to be examined or to be taken, depending on whatever the context is, right? It just
Yep.
reminds me of back in the day how women would drop a handkerchief as a sign of, oh, hey, you should
Wait,
probably.
you're not that old, right?
I'm not that old. I'm only 6 years older than you, I think. I'm
Really?
41.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were kind of my same age.
No. I'm just a few years older than you. So
What is it with our generation, man, that just keep their looks? It's like, I don't know how we do it.
we take care of ourselves. That's the deal. Like I get in the
Probably.
gym. I'm not really like pushing in the gym. I'm more in maintenance mode, but like that's just my physique is where it's at. And when I went to my trade show last week, I'm clearly in the top 10% among my trades. So I'm like, I'm not needing to spend more time doing that.
Yeah, and not to be a dick, but like I go to these card games and things like that as well. Let's be honest here. It's not hard.
It's not a high bar.
No,
So
it's
when I'm over here, like, top 10% across the board, like I'm not super worried.
No, exactly. And that's I get it why hobbies get a bad rap, because a lot of guys just don't even put the minimum amount of effort into themselves. It's like, guys, it's not that hard. Like, okay, you got some cars that are worth $1,000 and you can sell them. Use that $1,000 to invest in yourself. Get a couple of nice clothes, get a gym membership, get a trainer, it's not that hard. But
Yeah, but Jack,
they
it's a
don't
matter
do
of
it.
priorities. Like they do not prioritize it because they don't see that as valuable to them in the context of their life at the time.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. And then they wonder why they are alone at 40, where it's like, well, you
You made
know.
choices along the way, and choices have consequences. But nobody
Mhm.
wants to go ahead and talk about that. At least
Oh,
us
no.
guys are willing to go ahead and accept that, yeah, I did mess up along the way. These are the bumps and bruises I got. That's what it is.
Yeah. No, no, 100%. But sometimes you do see a couple, and I don't know about you, but I always kinda I feel sad for those couples because it's usually a girl who, like, is very out of shape, but she got the highest value guy there, sort of say,
Mhm.
and it's usually a tall, skinny guy.
Sure.
You know the type I'm talking about? Where
Oh,
it's
I
like
get it.
the tall, skinny guy and then the fat, frumpy girlfriend, and
Yeah.
she is so verbally abusive to him, where I'm like, "Oh god."
Yeah, and that's really sad. But I mean, I've also seen the opposite where it's, hey, it's a really hot guy and a not so hot girl, but she's like super hot for him.
Mhm.
And so she makes up for her lack in one domain by showing up in terms of enthusiasm. And
Well
you and I both know that enthusiasm makes up for a lot.
well, and that's the thing with genuine desire, right? Like, how do you spot that? Well, that genuine desire is that continuous effort she puts into you. Like I mentioned, the good morning texts. The girl I'm dating now, I'll just call her girlfriend. My girlfriend has never complained to me about good morning texts because she always beats me to it.
Mhm.
I never have to worry about if she has free time because as soon as I ask her, like, hey, want to come over? She says yes. Like, she just drops everything. And it's like, okay, see you at 6 or at 7. Things like that are like absolute genuine desire, making the time, making the efforts, and just making, how do you phrase that? Putting in that enthusiasm. Now, some people would say, like she spends money on you, things like that. Yes, 100% true. I don't really care about that part. Where
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
more about effort for you, right?
yeah, where it's like I can buy things myself. You know, I'd rather her not buy anything for me, but make all the time in the world for me. I've had girls do that where they bought shit for me, but never had time for me. Oh, but I bought you this nice thing. It's like, wow. And we think guys have covert contracts.
Sure.
Women have them a lot more.
Well, I think it's interesting because a lot of times it's genuine burning desire is them focusing on connecting, where we
Mhm.
get to focus on our mission. So we get
Yes.
to focus on the things that make us valuable and a gravitational pull to them in the first place, and they are gravitationally pulled to us. It's
Mhm.
the natural dance.
Yep. Yeah, and that's just how you have to keep measuring your relationship as well because like men are pattern recognizers. And that's how you know your woman is kind of falling out of love with you. Let's say, like I mentioned, those good morning texts. All of a sudden those stop coming. That's a pattern break. It's like, pattern interruption, that's the one. That's a pattern interruption where it's like something is off. Now, okay, once, twice could happen. But all of a sudden it keeps happening. And then she doesn't pick up the phone because all of a sudden she's busy, whatever. Where it's like, she normally always picks that damn thing up. Huh. Interesting. Hanging out with friends she hasn't seen in ages. It's like, interesting.
Mm.
Hmm. She isn't as physical with you anymore. And not even sexually, just physical. She doesn't want to lay next to you anymore. She doesn't put her head on you anymore. She doesn't want to hold your hand anymore. She doesn't touch your hair anymore. She doesn't, because like this little things girls do that they always want to touch you. It's like, ooh, it's like, stop it. All of a sudden that ends. Show no interest in what your day was anymore or in the hobbies you do anymore. Just that gradual decline of enthusiasm and interest. A lot of guys are completely blind to it because they just think, oh, that's just normal. Where it's like, mm-mm,
Mm-mm.
no.
It's a
Like the
message.
baseline, yeah, the baseline is her texting you every day, chasing you every day, wanting to know you every day. That's the baseline. And everything other that is like, yeah, that's not good. Now,
Sure. And it's interesting because ironically, the way to fix that is usually a pattern interrupt in the other direction.
yes. That's the how do you call that again? The paradox, I think? Yeah, the
Yeah.
paradox is the one.
It's a
And kind of the
paradox, right?
yeah, and
Because
kind of
they
the cruel joke of
want you
the
to change things and they want you to provide them an emotionally stirring experience. And one of the ways you can do that is by changing your pattern because they pick up on that stuff a lot faster than we do, generally speaking.
yep. And that's why you sometimes have to leave her on red.
Mhm.
That's something I learned the hard way. I had a girl like freaking out at me And my dumbass was arguing with her over text. I'm like, what am I
What
doing?
are we doing?
I
Just be
know
like, "Hey,
better.
how about you come over here and we can settle it?"
No, I wasn't even like that. I'm just
Oh,
looking at
okay. 'Cause that'd
myself,
be
and I was like,
hilarious.
I was just looking at myself. I'm like, what am I doing? I know better than this. I just put my phone away. I started listening music. Like, this is way better. And I could hear the phone going off, like, and that thing went on for like 30 minutes. It was
Wow.
insane. And then, like, maybe an hour later, I decided, well, just go in there, flip the phone. And I could see like the paragraphs going from like almost book pages to smaller, smaller, but also calmer and calmer. And then the last text wasn't even about what the first text was about.
Sure.
I'm like,
And you'd be like,
huh.
"Hey, how about you come over and we can go ahead and, talk about this?" And
Oh
then
no.
very
What
little
I have
talking happens after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, what I've learned though is never bring up an argument again, like full goldfish it. Like, "Oh,
Oh,
remember
that's
that
interesting.
argument?" No. Yeah. Or it's like, "Remember that argument?" No.
No,
No.
because it doesn't matter. It's not important at that point. And if it
Exactly.
is, it'll be brought up, and hopefully there'll be some legitimacy to it if she keeps bringing it up.
Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, it's just an emotional outburst. You have to take it for a moment. That's why don't argue with her. Just acknowledge, but don't agree. And like I said, sometimes just leave them on red.
Mhm.
That's even the better solution depending on what the situation is. Like if it's a normal emotional thing where it's like, "Hey, I feel blah blah blah," then it's like, I can see where you say that. Yeah, sometimes I can be a bit of a dick. No, 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 no. But when she's like really coming at you, it's like, just don't engage, don't do it. It's only gonna get worse, especially via the phone.
Yeah, why
Especially.
would you hug a snake? There's no good that can come from that,
Why did you sting me? Or why did you sting me? Because it is in my nature, the scorpion
right?
said.
So
That's what
there's
I
a
do.
really good story that you put out in this chapter about demonstrating genuine desire that has to do with ice cream. Can you go ahead and tell
Mm.
us a story about it?
Oh, the ice cream girl. Oh god. Women will forget the laws of thermodynamics when they're in love with you, or at least see you as the best option. They really do. So I was dating this girl and she had to reschedule. There was something I can't remember. She did something. I think it was a reschedule. And she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, I can know of a few things how you can make it up to me." And she's like, "How?" And of course, she thought I meant something sexual. I'm like, "Well, I'm a huge fan of Ben and Jerry's Half Baked." She's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I pick her up from the train station the day of the date, and I want to take a right instead of a left because we wanted to get ice cream. And she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "To the supermarket." To the store. She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, you wanted to get ice cream, right?" She's like, "I already have it." I'm like, "That's a 45-minute drive." I'm like, "Where did you get it? Did you just get it right before you like stepped out of the train or something?" "No, she got it at home." I'm like, "Do you have like one of those cooling bags?" "Oh no, like where is it?" She's like, "In my backpack." I'm like, "In a cooling bag?" "No." I'm like, "You drove 45 minutes with 2 pints of ice cream in your rucksack." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What does ice cream do outside of the cooler, the fridge? The freezer, sorry, outside of the freezer?" She looks at me like, "Oh." I'm like, "Did you actually forget ice cream melts?" She's like, "I just wanted to make you happy." I'm like, "Oh my."
And that's the punchline because that's genuinely how she felt in the matter.
Yeah, she just wanted to make me happy. I'm like, "Oh god, you're a dear." I'm like, "You know what? You're lucky we because funnily enough, that was actually the week we got a freezer." So I take her home. I was like, "We'll put it in the freezer." And she all of a sudden runs outside. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "We're gonna get new ones." I'm like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Yeah, I promised you ice cream. I messed up. So now we're gonna get new ones." Mind you, Ben and Jerry's per pint is not cheap.
Right.
So this girl just spent how much was that? Almost $40 on ice cream for a guy she was only fucking.
Sure. And she was taking accountability. Like, whoa.
I know, right? Right guy at the right place, I guess. But that was one of those moments where I'm like, what the hell? And funnily enough, that happened again.
Oh
Not
my
with the same
gosh.
girl, with another girl. With the girl I'm
Really?
dating right now. Yep. Because I had dropped that, here in Batumi, they have peanut butter ice cream or something, and peanut butter ice cream is
Mm.
pretty good.
Mhm.
And, she would come at 7, and she was there at 7:15. She's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. I tried to find your ice cream, and I found it, but I had to walk a long way." And I'm like, "You have got to be kidding me. This
And she's
cannot
heard the
be."
ice cream story before, right?
She hadn't heard it.
Oh, she
Oh,
hadn't
no.
heard it. Okay.
Oh, no, she hasn't read my book. She has seen it, where I'm like, "Oh, shit." She's like, "What's that? On women?" Hmm.
Yeah, don't worry
Hmm.
about it.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And, I'm like, "How far did you have to walk?" She's like, "Oh, about half an hour." I'm like, "Did you have that ice cream for 30 minutes in your rucksack?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Not again. Just no, not again." She's like, "Oh, I just wanted to really get it for you." It's like, "It's fine. Put it in the freezer. It's okay." You've got to be kidding me. But
But she
it
was
was good.
blind to it because she cared about you, and
I
she
know,
wanted to
and
show you the interest.
that's the level I'm dealing with right now, where it's like, how can you beat that, you know? Like, how can you beat that? Where it's like, yeah, I kinda keep my options open, but do I have to? Kinda
Not
thing.
really. That's really
No.
good. I
Yeah,
think most
that's
guys
not a
would kill for
bad.
that kind of relationship.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to be. The only problem is, like, a One Piece reference, I'm more into Nami, but I'm dating Nico Robin kinda thing. It's like,
Okay. I mean, like,
yeah,
they're both great options.
I know, right? I know, but it's like, yeah, I prefer the redhead. Okay. Well, okay, we'll deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's hair coloring. It's all good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She make a poor redhead though. She really make a
Oh,
poor.
yeah. Not the complexion for it?
No, not the complexion for it.
Mm.
No.
Okay, that makes
Oh well.
sense. Oh,
Oh
well.
well.
Such is life.
Such is life. Such is life. Can't have it all.
Yeah, so there was another really funny story in the book that I read it, I'm like, "There's no way." Like, this sounds like something that I would do, but,
Mhm.
like, awesome. You invited somebody to 2 PM tea. Can you tell the story about that?
Is that the Adler story? My dumbass that didn't because there's
There's the
multiple.
local rock star.
Oh yeah, well that does have to do with Adler. That does have to do with Adler, her sort of ex-boyfriend at the time. It was so stupid. Was so stupid. So he had cheated on her, I don't know how many times, and we all knew, and it was never really proven, but you know, it was confirmed. Then, but she kind of was very fond of me. We were very good friends. She was actually always into me. I was just too dumb to see it because I was pretty young. And then a photo came out of him kissing another girl, and that got to her, which may or may not had something to do with me. I will not say. Via, I knew who to send it to. Maybe I'm just saying. If I were to do that, I knew exactly. We had our own personal Milo, sort of say. Where
Not
it's
that it
like, oh
happened or anything,
no, no,
but
no, but like I knew who to go to if that were to
Mhm.
happen. But so she finally saw it, and she couldn't deny it anymore. Where it's like, okay, you know, where it's like I've heard the rumors, I've heard everything. I kind of knew deep down it was true, but I can't deny this. So she and I grew more and more apart. I started to understand a little bit more because that was around the time I found Corey Wayne. A friend of
Mm.
mine introduced him to him, where it's like women will, what was it? Women will put themselves in your orbit, and the only reason she is contacting you is because she wants you to set up a date. And all she did was text me all day, and like I said, she would. That's why I thought you meant Adler. She would show up at 2 a.m. at night, like, "Hey, are you still awake?" I'm like, "Yeah. What do you want?" "Oh, you have time to hang out?" I'm like, "Sure, I guess." My dumbass didn't know what I meant back
Sure.
then. Yeah, and to test Corey Wayne's advice, I was like, okay, women reach out to you for you to set the date. Fine. I'll figure it out. So she reaches out to me and I'm like, okay, when are you free to get together? She's like, one moment. I'm like, oh, well, guess he was full of shit. She's like, check your email. And she had sent me her monthly work schedule. She's like, pick a time and date. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's right.
Yeah, it was an open invitation.
It's like, oh crap. But so she and I, it happened kind of thing. And then he found out, and his nephew and I were friends.
Mm,
And funnily enough, his nephew was kind of like, yeah, I know he's a douchebag, but he is family, you know,
right.
like, But we were supposed to go to this open mic night Irish band that was playing in our town. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready for this, man. I don't care. Like, you cheated on her. I don't know how many times. I get you're angry with me, but hello, pot. My name is Kettle. You're black. It's like, yeah, don't come at me. Don't throw stones from glass houses." And I'm not violent at all. Like, it wasn't about that. I would have taken the hit. Where it's like, yeah, I get it. But he had texted his nephew, like, "I'm not coming when he's there." I'm like, really? So I hit him up. I'm like, hey, about this whole thing. The night was fun. It was an amazing band, and you missed out because you have this petty quarrel with me. Here's my address. I'm free at that time. Tea will be ready at 2. And he never showed up. And I'm like, then what was this beef for? Like,
Mm.
then what was all this drama for? I invite you over. I give you my address, everything. Come over. We'll sort it all out because missing a great night of fun just for this is nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Sure, and that's an incredibly ballsy move on your part, right? Because you are giving him access to where you're at. You give him
Mhm.
a time and you say, "Look, if you want to have this conflict, let's go."
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even about the physical part. I didn't challenge him to a medieval brawl or whatever.
Well, no, you
But
left it open though. You left it open to interpretation the way that it was written in the story.
yeah, it was. Like I was ready for a jab in the face kind of thing. I was ready for it where it's like he's probably going to punch you in the face and I'm like, "Yeah, but did I deserve it?" She was still his girlfriend at the time. That's like, "Yeah, maybe you kind of deserve it." Kind of thing. So I was open to it where it's like, "Yeah, fine, just do it. Be done with it." And, as guys do, where it's like they beat the shit out of each other and they grab a beer afterwards, kind of thing.
Sure.
But I'm also like a big proponent of none of this he said, she said bullshit. I
Mhm.
don't like it. And fortunately for me, I haven't had a lot of it online. None
Yeah.
actually. I'm not really I don't draw drama to me, fortunately enough. I
I mean,
wouldn't
there's
know what to.
pluses and minuses to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of guys who went after me and I just ignored them and they deleted their YouTube channel. So hey, guess what? I win.
Yeah.
Because
The
that's
last
what
last man standing.
well, that's what they want, right? Because like in real life, it's way different than online because he couldn't have made a reactionary YouTube video or whatever, or posted wherever. Like that would have done nothing for him. But now on the internet, when those things happen, you get the infinite monetization loop where I go after you, you go after me, and we go after each other. And it's going to be an internal back and forth, and the audience is going to be involved, and it's just pure kayfabe.
Well, sure. And then you could always go with the politician model where you go ahead and you go to beer and you guys are actually friends, but then you go
Yep.
ahead and pretend on the stage that you guys are actually enemies.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That happens a lot. We've seen photos from politicians in the Netherlands where it's like, wait, are they in a bar together? And then you see them in the Chamber of Commerce or whatever it's translated to in English, and they're like ripping each other apart. Where it's like, oh wow, okay,
It
sure,
happens all the time in the US. It's hilarious because they have a baseline level of respect for each other, but for the sake of the cameras and their constituencies, they put out an image that may not be representative of the truth.
yep. Which is odd, you know. I mean, maybe
What
it's
do
a
you mean it's
limited.
odd? Like that's the
No,
the
but
media
it
landscape
works.
that we're
It
in.
works. It works because emotions sell. But this is the idealist in me. Wouldn't it be so much better if everybody was like, "Hey, we have a disagreement. Let's just talk this out because we do like each other," kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's boring, Jack.
I know, I know. That's why I'm only
That
at
would
4,000 subs
that
because I'm
would get
boring.
that would get too many people actually getting stuff done and not enough ways of farming out money to special interests.
I know, I
Yeah,
know. Oh,
and
don't get
and
me
that's the
started on
name of the
special
game,
interest.
Jack.
I know, I know. Banging
So
my
back
head
on
against the
top,
wall.
yeah, back on the topic of the book and less on politics. You have a chapter on empathy will kill your relationship.
Yep.
So we're told by society that men should show empathy and that they should express their feelings. Why is it that that's probably the worst advice that a guy could get?
Because it will be used against you. You will be absolutely emotionally strong-armed into a position you don't wanna be in, into sacrificing yourself for the benefit of others. That is like the one chapter everybody comes at me for. Not come at me, but it's like, that chapter's amazing. That chapter's great. I'm like, really? That one? Because I remember writing it, and to me, it wasn't like this is something new or special, or maybe it was the way I worded it. But you especially in the current landscape of everywhere, you just you see so much of it, and especially in relationships as well, like the thing we just mentioned about the tall skinny guy and the fat frumpy girlfriend. We have that innate protector instinct, and we want her to be happy, and women inherently know this. They do, and that's why they cry, and that's why dogs yelp, and that's why babies scream, because immediately that sets something off in us where it's like, oh, something is wrong. And Esther Villar had a great quote. I will never forget that quote, where she stated, if only men knew what cold and calculating thoughts went on behind those teary eyes. I was like, that one was like engraved in my mind when I read that, where it's like, every time a girl cries now, I'm like, what does she want? Oh, okay. Now I don't say that, but like mentally I go there. However, like I mentioned in the chapter, I'm not resistant to it. I'm not, because there was a girl who, one of my girlfriends, she used to smoke, and she would always smoke outside, thank the Lord. But normally she'd keep the door open, and we had a little bit of an argument and things like that. She was giving me the silent treatment, as she did. By the way, if a girl ever gives you the silent treatment, just walk. It's not worth it. Stonewalling and things like that, I don't have time for that anymore. But she would pull that, but then she would go smoke, and normally she'd ask me if I wanted to. But she didn't. She just went downstairs and all of a sudden shut the door. And I'm like, you don't have keys. Where are you going? Like, what? And then I'd walk down and I'd open the door. And that happened 3 or 4 times. And then the last time I sat outside as well, and we talked about it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why did you keep doing that with the door? She's like, because I knew you'd come get me. And I'm like, God, did I get duped? Because
And she went ahead and did you the solid of letting you know that you got played. Most women wouldn't.
No. Oh, I got played. She was good at that, though. She was very good at that. When almost equal, I'd say. Back then, she was better than I am, but my powers have doubled since last time we met, kind of thing. But that was just one of those moments where I was like, your fear got the better of you, and your empathy got the better of you, because like you're worried, like, oh my God, she's gonna be locked out, and what if she can't get in? And that's not very nice, and blah blah blah. And if that were to happen today, I'd be like, hey, your dumbass closes the door, not mine. You know you don't have the key, you know where the key is, and now all of a sudden you want to close the door? No, it's not my problem. Have fun.
Yeah, you give her manufactured drama at that point and let her stew in it.
Yeah.
And then normally it ends up being to your benefit anyway.
Yes. Normally it does. I do have to say, though, in this case, this was a little bit of an extreme case.
Sure.
But in general, when they're not as extreme, woman turned to 12, some people will get that reference. It's okay. A little bit of manufactured drama. I do that even now every now and then, just stir the pot a bit. There was this one girl I dated. It was hilarious. She was like peace itself. Never any trouble. She just, every now and then she said, I don't have a mug with me, but you know that thing that women do when they have their tea and they do it like this? Always do. I don't know why they do it. It's like always like this. Like, oh, I have my tea, my precious little tea. And she was sitting on the couch, like with her tea, and she was staring outside, like all peaceful, nothing worried her. I'm like, could you stop doing that? She's like, what am I doing? Like that. Stop that. She's like, what? Like that. You know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. I go, oh my God, it's so annoying. Just stop it. And she completely lost her mind. Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know. I'm like, what are you talking about? Such a dick move.
You just completely gaslit her the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And after that,
hopefully you brought her in for a hug afterwards.
Yeah, of course. Like, she came up to me, things like that. It was absolutely lovely. She was great. She was absolutely great. I mean, I've never dated a non-great person, but some were just more out there than others, kind of thing. Some
Sure, and this
really
is a
tested my brain.
calibration thing too, right? Is
Mhm.
like you have to know what's going on because sometimes they're playing you and sometimes it's genuine emotion that's coming from a genuine place.
Yes.
And it's a
Uh,
matter of knowing the difference.
yes, and that's the thing with empathy, like, your empathy will kill you. That was the original title, where it's like, yeah, your empathy will kill you in that sense, but I changed it to will kill your relationship. I found that a little bit more,
More
fitting.
palatable. Yeah.
Yeah, more digestible because we want things to be all right. In all honesty, like we don't want to argue with them. We just want it to be peaceful and we want it to be fine. But women crave indignation. So we have to every now and then cause a little drama, whether we like to or not. But, and if we didn't do that, then they will. And sure as hell, you can't always handle that because they will go way farther than you sometimes to the
Sure.
point of they will burn the relationship down to feel its warmth.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think it's much more to a man's advantage to be the drug dealer in
Yes,
this case,
it
right?
is.
So even, I've been married for 22 years and I still do this from time to time. And it could be as simple as walking by and smacking her on the behind
Yep.
just out of nowhere, right? And we see this on social media all the time where you go ahead and you do that and they have this like manufactured indignation over it. And then the time you don't do it out of habit, they get all upset about it.
Yeah. Like, am I not good enough?
Right. And
Yep.
sometimes you got to do that intentionally to go ahead and mess with them a little bit. Don't let them get too used to the games you play with them.
Well, exactly. And that's why, like I mentioned, every now and then just leave her on red, things like that. Or just be silent an entire evening. Just don't say anything. And what was the old phrase again? Her imagination is your greatest friend. And
Yeah.
just let
It's
her think of things.
it's really funny because I always imagine that as like a hamster wheel going on in the back of a woman's mind. And I
Yeah.
use that as an example all the time, whether it's the hamster wheel of excuses, right? When you're talking about something and they'll excuse their behavior in any number of ways to not take accountability for something. It's the
Oh,
hamster wheel.
yeah, those yeah, and that was even in the old school Reddit essays. They called it the hamster as well. Like get the
Oh,
hamster
really?
spinning. Yeah, the
Okay,
old
I
married
hadn't
red
spent
pill.
much time in that. I've just mostly spent my time in published works.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, in the old school red pill Reddit forums, they spin the hamster, get the hamster out of the maze. What's a big one? Because some guys they could use her neuroticism, but like you mentioned, like, did you bring her in for a hug? But these guys, they got the hamster spinning, but they couldn't get the hamster out of the maze.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, like, they failed at comfort. It's like they got the alpha part, but they didn't get the beta part right. Where it's like, oh, now what do you
Yeah.
do? Because you have a highly neurotic wife who is like craving a little bit of comfort and security, and you don't know how to give it to her. Then what do you
Yeah.
do?
Well, and that's the thing is that's the way to go ahead and get them addicted, right? Is you go ahead and give them that comfort to bring them down a couple of notches before you escalate again.
Yep. But these guys didn't know how to do that. They didn't know how to
Sure.
bring they didn't know how to lead the hamster out of the maze.
Well, I mean, I think most guys by nature don't know how to game. And I think
No, they
that's
don't.
part of the value of this is not to go ahead and use it for ill. It's just like power, it's just like money. It's a matter of how you use these things. It's contextual.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing. I don't know if I've ever even written that is a I know I don't think I have written about that. Let me write that down real quick before I
Yeah,
forget that because
there's a
uh
lot in there.
oh yeah, there is. Because I need to write that one down. Oh yeah, I have never written about that. Good. Because now I have a topic again. Every now and then I run out of topics where it's like, oh, what do I want to address? But that's a good one because I was talking to Andy from Kill You're in a Loser about this. Once you like learn game and you learn all this genuine desire and things like that, there are a lot of things women will let you do to them.
Hmm.
And in those moments, you learn who you really are because they completely surrender themselves to you. And that is not something and everybody can bear kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and different people have different limitations on where they'll go. And
Mhm.
you you never know just how dirty a woman is until you get them to surrender.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And that's just what it is. And so, like, a lot of these guys that have been married for a long time are like, I want my woman to submit and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, if you're not doing the things to make it happen, you're never going to see that side of her. And if you're
I
never going
al
to see that side of her, then what is the point of what you're doing?
Yeah, I also don't like the whole submit and submissive thing, and don't get me wrong, um,
Well, I think that a lot of
it's
people make it worse than it actually is. And I'll go
no,
ahead
but
and give you my
it's
perspective, but you're germinating on something right now.
yeah, where it's like, don't get me wrong, like, the girl I'm dating now, she's very submissive and things like that, but I hate the just when guys bring it up, I cringe.
Well, how
Makes
about the
sense?
word surrender?
No, 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 like, not because you say it, but it's become such a meme, like, "I want my woman to be submissive." It's like, "Eh." It's like, as soon as I hear somebody say that, I go like, You don't get it. You don't get it.
Right.
You don't know what real submissiveness is." You know, that thing like, "Hey, could you bring me that?" I was like, "Sure." Like, "Oh, you're on your way. Could you pick that up for me?" "Sure." Uh, "Where XYZ?" "Okay." Kinda thing. And then, yeah,
Sure.
all of that transfers in the bedroom and kinda thing, but, like, what do you mean, "I want a submissive woman"? I want an enthusiastic woman, and then with that enthusiasm, the rest comes. But
But
no,
you can
they
have both.
always yeah, 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 but that's kind of
Yeah.
what I mean with, like, the
Yeah.
enthusiasm, the submissiveness comes. But these guys always, like, focus on that submissiveness, where it's like, "What do you want? A girl who says yes to everything you want?" Kinda thing? That's boring. That's kind of a drone you get. And now, don't get me wrong, I don't like back talk that much either, where it's like, "We're just doing it my way, done." But just the way guys say it, I don't know how to describe it, just the way how some guys say it, like, "I want submissiveness and this and that." I go, "You just don't get it."
Yeah. Well,
Something just
I'll go ahead and explain this a little bit differently to a lot of people because there's different levels of submission,
Mhm,
right? And I think most guys are looking for something that's akin to obligated compliance, where
mhm.
there is an obligation to follow your lead. That is not what I want. I
No.
want enthusiastic compliance. I want willful and willing compliance, where they
Yes.
see the benefit and they follow along. So I usually liken relationships to a captain and a passenger kind of framework. I got that from Orion Taraban in his book, The Value of Others.
Oh,
And
y
it's a
oh,
fantastic
yeah.
read if you've never read it. But
No, no, no,
the
no. I get why Rolo doesn't like him because that too is a very old school married red pill concept.
sure, and I think that there's a lot of value in it, even though it's a red. There's plenty of context that you can take that story and apply
Mhm,
it for good value in different like relationship dynamics in a lot of ways.
mhm.
And so when I talk about submission in marriage, right? Because I come from a Christian worldview, so I have I marry these things in a very different way, and I really value how Rollo wrote his fourth book on religion. And there's just a lot to that because he's a Christian too. It's just he's not the kind that most people would associate, generally speaking, with.
Yeah, he's how do I phrase that? I have a friend of mine who's I always call him a man of faith, and I think I can't speak for him, but that's
Sure.
kind of how I would interpret Rolo, where it's like he's not religious, he's a man of faith.
Mhm.
And that's the same with my friend because he doesn't like pound it on everybody where it's like, I'm a Christian and blah, 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 blah. But he is a man of faith
Right.
where it's like every now and then it comes up. It's like, oh, yeah, yeah. And you can have wonderful conversations with him about theology and things like that and like different perspectives. And that's kind of how I make distinguishes or how I distinguish things sometimes where it's like religious, I always get the vibe of like the zealots, but like
Sure.
men of faith keep it more to themselves and they demonstrate the faith instead of explicating it.
Sure. And I
If
mean,
that
there's some
makes
value in both depending on context and all of that. And it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
anything else in life, right? But it's boring to talk about it that way.
I know, I know, I know. It's like the submissive thing. It's more like they expect a woman to be submissive. It's like, that's not how that works.
Sure, but
You
on
know?
what basis, right? Because, if you have enough gravity, that is a natural thing for women to do. They
Yes.
naturally want to be led. They don't want to be the ones making the decisions about every nitnoid little thing.
Mhm.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the meme that goes on in the internet where the guy asks the woman where she wants to go to eat, and they spend 30 minutes trying to figure it out. And I just go ahead and cut through the BS. And I ask, first of all, do you have an explicit preference? And then she says no. And I'm like, look, here are two options. Of these two, which one would you prefer?
And
I would
even
prefer this one. And she normally goes with the one that I picked.
Mhm. And even then, it's like guesswork where it's like, okay, you give her 2, and that's sometimes already too much. It's like, just
Yeah.
give her
But
the 1.
I mean, we've been married for 22 years. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I give her an established pattern. I give her a
Mhm.
framework to work within. She likes going within that framework. It works
Oh,
out well for
22
both of
years,
us.
nice. Oh,
Yeah,
then I do have a question for you,
sure. What's
actually.
up?
Since you are a man of faith, from that perspective, what did you think of the book?
I can go ahead and divorce the moral implications of
Mhm.
certain pieces of the puzzle and see the praxeology for what it is. So
Okay.
I think that a lot of people that are in the moral zealotry camp will have a harder time doing that. But I have been very accustomed to taking apart worldviews and looking at it for what it or what its core beliefs are and what good it does. And that's why I see the red pill as a general good for humanity and for society, and why I think that it is generally something that is worth standing behind,
Mhm.
even though I would get a lot of flack from a lot of my brothers and sisters in Christ. And I'm willing to stand up for it because I believe that the concepts go hand in hand and it's more an application than anything else. You can use it in so many ways, just like you can use money for good and for ill, just like you can use power for good and for ill. It is the same thing. It is a tool in a toolbox. It is not a standalone worldview.
No, correct. But, like, because I kinda wrote the book in a sense that I would want anybody to read it and not feel attacked and things like that, and I said that during my breakdowns of the Wilson debates as well, where it's like, "Don't go after a man's faith. That has
Mhm.
nothing to do with it." So I always try to be as, like, decent as possible to everybody's worldview, and I also know that a lot of people, like, read red pill stuff. It's like, "Oh, that's not moral," but then I try to, or I have tried at least, to distinguish as much as possible from that, where it's like, "Hey, if you don't morally agree with this, then don't apply it, but it
Sure.
could be
Or apply
applied."
it differently, right? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of these concepts that like the idea of spinning plates is something that I think is important before marriage and should still be on the table after marriage, because that is kind of the thing that inspires passive dread. If you are the kind of guy that uh, other women want, your woman will go ahead and notice that passively.
Yes.
The
Correct.
problem
That
is the vast majority of men never get to that point of optionality to have that be an active and passive force in their relationship.
No, agree, agree, and with spinning plates, it's not even that you have to sleep with all of them, but do
Oh,
date them.
absolutely.
But at least do date them all, kinda thing. And believe me, that will help in your relationship because every now and then I go to game night, whatever, with my girlfriend now, and there is another girl, it's always that look. It's always
Mhm.
that look.
Sure. And then you don't even have to acknowledge it. You don't have to say anything. Just play it cool. And
Yep.
then usually you'll reap benefits that evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like everything is fine. Don't bring it up. Every now and then she brings it up with me. It's like, "Did you like that girl?" It's like, "No, I'm playing a game." "Huh?" I usually play stupid, or sometimes I do go into it where it's like, "Why? You want me to introduce you to her?" Kind of thing.
Oh, that's
Because
hilarious. Yeah.
yeah, because like sometimes I'm kind of done with the jealousy part. Like I've dated girls who were bisexual, and in all honesty, I preferred that because I mean I look at beautiful women. I just do that.
Sure.
And
It's
I
just a
even told
normal thing.
yeah, and when I dated, the former main plate, as I call her, absolute great girl, I could stare and she would stare with me, and I'd be like,
Mhm.
"That one's good looking, isn't she?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, she is. Wanna go for it?" It's like, "Yeah, do it," kinda thing. But with my girl now, she's, like, very territorial. Could be the Eastern European thing. And, oh, by
Sure.
the way, guys, it's the whole thing about, "Oh, Eastern European women are amazing." It's like, women everywhere can be great, and I'm
Yeah,
not in
they're
that.
women.
Yeah. It's like they're just women kinda thing. But, she's not like that at all, and she can get very jealous, and sometimes that's annoying. It's like,
Mhm.
"Really? We're doing this again?" And
Sure.
on one hand, it's a good thing, you know? Where it's like, okay, at least she cares. And that's how I interpret it most of the time, where it's like she's jealous because she cares. That's
Yeah,
it.
and it's a matter of how you navigate it
Yeah.
because you have enough knowledge about how she operates that you can provide the right stimulus to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. Sometimes it's agree and amplify, and every now and then it's just fogging kind of thing. And for people who don't know what fogging is, When I Say No of the Guilty. Great book. Every man in the whole sphere must have read it, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that goes ahead and hits a lot of what we were looking to get at with talking about the book. Is there anything that you want to go ahead and provide to the audience as solid closing thoughts as far as the book is concerned?
The book is an introduction to the general red pill praxeology. If you have read Rollo's book, if you have read Ryan's books, this for you is an additional perspective on how it looks like in the field. Some things are phrased differently, some things are applied differently, and some concepts aren't even discussed by nor Rollo nor Ryan. Some people have called it the introduction to the red pill for Zoomers. Aaron Clary mentioned that, and Sidetown Siege, who's in the chat now, also said the same thing. It's a great introduction to the red pill for the newer generation. So if you're interested in that, if you don't know what the red pill is, or have an idea of what it is but aren't sure about it, I highly recommend my book. And not because Rollo's or Ryan's are great. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. I find my book to be a little bit more the more accessible introduction to it.
Mhm. Sure, that makes
If
a
I
lot of
might
sense.
be
And
so, yeah,
right,
if I
but the
might
thing
be
is,
so
you also
bold.
stand on the shoulders of giants, and early on in the book, you have a whole gratitude page that's devoted to a lot of the men that have helped to shape you along the process. And I think that for any of them, that's really all they would expect is just some kind of acknowledgement.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I often see Rollo goes ahead and gets on people's case for using red pill concepts and then not like attributing to him. But
it was
I don't
funny
think that
during
he,
Rule Zero where I could grab my own book and be like, "Where is it? Where is it? Where's his name?" And there, just shove it in his face on camera. I'm like,
yeah,
"Look." He's like, "I wouldn't have expected nothing less from you, Jack."
right,
Okay,
because it's a
Jack.
matter of showing respect.
Yeah, of course. He is an amazing writer, and he's done all the work for us. You know, like there will be no Nuke, there will be no Jack, there would be no there will be no you name it without Rollo and
Sure.
without So Suave, without Puck, without God, what's his name? Mystery. I meant the other guy, Ross Jeffries. Like those
Sure.
guys were like at the forefront of everything. Owen Cook, who is still till this day one of my favorite reference points when it comes to like socializing. There was a clip I showed on screen where Owen Cook from RSD, the man is in his 40s now,
Mm.
but he can still socialize like no other. He was interviewed in the street camera thing, and he just saw two random girls walk by and they were staring at the camera, and he interrupts the whole interview. It's like, "Hey, you want to join?" And these girls are like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
is this the
sure."
older gentleman with the beard and the two
Yeah,
African American ladies? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's him. And he just like he just swoos his way through it. Like, that's it, guys. That's it.
There it
He's not
is.
attacking them. He's not even flirting with them per se, but he's engaging with them. That's the trick to most of this stuff is engage with people.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the comments right quick because I'm not as good at doing that as you are. So we've got Ryzen said us hi, hello. We got Richard, hello. Filipino working, hello. Mountain Man Tops, great to see you. Hero Forge, awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Learning how to click the buttons on StreamYard. So there's that. And then we got, of course, Sidehouse Siege. Thanks for showing up and showing support. Appreciate you. And then there we go. We're caught up on comments. So down in the description below, I've got linked Jack's YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. I've got his X. He's got a lot of great things to say on X. So by all means, go ahead and check him out. Also, you can get a copy of this. The link is in the description below. It's Jack's link so that we can go ahead and help him get more revenue on every click. So that's great. And then finally his Substack. let's go ahead and get him to the US so we can go ahead and have a great time together.
That would be great. And one more thing about the book, it was a group project, is how I like to describe it. Because like Ryan, Rolo, Andy from Kill You're in a Loser, Nuke, Nick, August, Wine More Please, Rule Zero Dad, Rob from Rob Says, Clary, all those guys, like their fingerprints are on this.
Yeah.
It's all in there, you know, everything they've ever taught me, everything I took from their work is in here. So,
and that's the wonderful thing, right? Is life is a team sport. And I think that in a lot of ways, this book is a representation of that.
oh, I like that. Thank you. I appreciate
There
that.
you go.
That's
By
a
all
nice-
means, go and use it.
Yeah, no, that's a nice description. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so aside from the stuff that I've already introduced for, you know, in terms of promoting your stuff, do you have anything else that you'd like to promote while you have the opportunity?
You kind of named everything. The Substack right now is where I do the bulk of my work, where I go into depths about all these concepts about the praxeology, dating, finance, fitness, all these things. Do monthly Q&As. I did find out that as of today, I can desktop stream on Substack. So I will be going live on my Substack in about half an hour, and you can find that at jacknapier.substack.com. But for the rest, you already mentioned that the book, the YouTube at Jack Napier Knows, Twitter on at Jack Napier Not. I have muted almost everything political because it was driving me insane. It's like, no, I don't need to see it. Don't need to see it. I left the Netherlands for a reason. I don't want to be reminded why. Just
That's funny.
go away.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and discuss your book, Jack. I really appreciate that. And I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Well, thank you for having me on, and thank you for actually reading the book. I very much appreciate that, actually. I really do. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you have read it, make sure you leave a review. I left my review yesterday, so.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll see if it actually showed. I went ahead and refreshed it a couple times, and if not, I'll go ahead and redo it because it's just one of those things where I think that's important to go ahead and genuinely review good work so that it can go ahead and get more of a push in the Amazon algorithm.
It does. It does. Thank you again, Mike. I very much appreciate that.
Of course, it's a great pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise. Likewise.
Have a fantastic day, everybody in the chat. Enjoy.
Cheers.